This clock is built differently than most clocks I've seen. Instead of having the time train and the strike train side by side, instead the time train is everything in the front of the clock. So from this piece of wood here forward, that's all the time side of the movement, and everything behind this piece of wood is part of the strike side. These two do the chiming, and these two run the time part of the clock. And so when I pull on the time part, nothing happens, something's jammed. Now from a different perspective, let's see what happens when I pull on the strike chain. Everything works fine. Time chain. The wheels, they all move, but something's stuck. Alright, sorry this is the best that I could possibly get it, but right now, just for reference, this is the escape wheel, and this is the escape pallets. And the problem is, when the weight is attached to the movement, when the weight is hooked onto the chain, it pulls this escape wheel using all, 7 pounds of force, whatever. And so the weight it pulls on this escape wheel, and the pallets are up here. The pallet is adjusted in a way where it locks up and doesn't turn. And it sometimes actually slips and allows many teeth to fall through instead of just one. So you saw right there, it jumped a ton. And that weight has a lot greater force than my thumb. And so what happens is, when the weight is attached to this clock, and I learned this because I tried it, the weight will just fall through the floor and this wheel will spin at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Okay, and I have found out a way to fix or attempt to fix this problem. Okay, the escape arbor, which is, let me try and get it with this nail. It's this right here. It holds the escapement. I'm wiggling it with my finger. And there's actually a way to adjust this. And it's by hitting this. So how in the world am I going to be able to reach that and hit it with a hammer to adjust it? Well, you can see, if we just look straight up under the bell, you can see that little black nub right there. That's what's holding in the escape arbor. So somehow, if I take the bell off, I can maybe slide this down more. That way it actually reaches the pallets. And I'll also have to do the same thing over on this side, where it connects. But the problem with that is the escape arbor actually is right here. And that's not going to be easy to adjust up and down, because it's nailed in. Also, I just want to point out that this is actually an old school suspension spring. I guess it works. Okay, clock is back on the wall, and this could be the cause of the problem of why the escape arbor has moved out of place, is the way this clock was built. And it's kind of hard to put this in words, but just watch. Watch this. Since this clock just sticks out about 6 inches from the wall, this wood is probably 160 years old. This clock was made around the 1850s, I'd say. So all this old wood has become loose where it joins together, and the front is starting to sag. And this is without the weight on it. If I put the weight on here, you will see this start to sag even more. Thanks for watching this video. I just want to post more about this clock because I've only made one video on it. And this is the oldest clock in my collection. Here's the face. I do have the pins that hold this on, and the hands as well. And originally this clock actually had glass around the front, but that's long gone. So everything else about the clock is perfectly fine. The guy I bought it from said that pretty much the problem with the escapement is the only problem on the clock, and he had the clock for about 10 years. So after that, the clock should be running. This is a 30-day clock, sorry, 30-hour clock, so it needs winding once a day, and this bell is pretty loud. So I don't think I'll have this running all the time once I get it fixed. But thanks for watching.